Hi, everyone. I'm Steve. I'm here with David Wright, who is a personal trainer at Parkway Athletic Club in Carson City. Thanks for being here, David.
Thanks for having me, Steve.
All right, we're going to talk about what is it like to be in the gym? What can you expect? Because a lot of people don't go to the gym or they don't go to the gym and they have a misconception of what it is and what it's like and what the people are like. So we're going to talk about that and what to do and what to look for, a little bit of that. First, if you guys are interested in interviews with doctors, nutritionists, personal trainers, subscribe to the channel. And if you want to know more about our weight loss program, use the QR code on the screen or the link in the description. So, David, we were talking about this, and you know what? You and I do a lot of videos like this, and Brian and I do a lot of videos like this about exercising and we do a lot of videos on, even though I own health clubs, on how to stay out of the gym and exercises you can do at home because it's so convenient and it's easy. Get out, do a walk, do some body weight exercises, or you get some light dumbbells. You can easily set something up in your home if you're just a beginner, and especially if you're older, for $500. You can have a solid, and it doesn't even have to be that much. But you can have a little room in your home where you can do everything pretty efficiently. Now, the gym is going to be better. It's going to be better. It's going to be more flexible um, than at home. It's not as limited. But we talk a lot about how to exercise and how to put muscle on without a gym. Well, this time we're going to talk about the benefits of a gym. So first, let's talk about, and of course I have a lot of thoughts here. I've been in the gym business all my life, since I got out of high school, or not out of college. I mean, I've been in the gym business. I've been in the gym since I was, in intermediate school. But you go ahead, go first and tell us about what you feel about the gym. And I think you work out at multiple gyms too. I mean, you work at Parkway, but you go to other gyms. I like to go to other gyms also. And they're all a little different, but they all seem to have one thing in common, and it's positive. So I have a lot of thoughts on what the gym's like, what the people are like, what happens in the gym, what you should do. But why don't you go first and tell us about your gym experience, this is your livelihood.
Yeah, it really is, Steve. And for those of you who've watched, our videos before, we've talked a lot about this, but I'm a men's physique competitor. So, the gym is a really important part of, my life and my goals at this point. Of course, I do work here at Parkway Athletic Club in Carson City. So I love my home gym here. But you're right, Steve. So I've had a membership to another gym for about, gosh, probably 13 years, another gym here in town. I also look at another health club here in town. Every once in a while, go there. It's really important to pick a gym. When we talk about, well, what do you do? Where do you go? How do you start? Go, and go and tour, the gym or the club that you want to go to, or it might be convenient for you. Go kind of get a feeling for what it's like to be there. Some gyms are much smaller. Some gyms like ours here at Parkway is bigger, has more equipment selection, including our functional area upstairs, which I really like. But for me, the biggest thing about the gym, when I started in 2012 going to a gym, I had maybe been to a gym 3 or 4 times in my life. And that was when I was probably 13 years old with my dad, who had a membership to a health club. I went with him a couple of times and that was it. So, you know, my whole story is a really long one, but to make it really short, coming into a gym after kind of losing a whole bunch of weight, really by, you know, different circumstances in my life, but also, I was going to have a desk job that I had always been really active, been on my feet and retail management. So I was always moving around, getting all that. Then I was going to be at a desk job. And so I said, I really don't want to gain any of that weight back. What was I going to do? I went to a gym, the gym I still belong to as well, all these years later. But the thing about it was I didn't know a thing about how do you use the the bench press, or what do I do with these dumbbells, what's the right form, and how do I do this safely. None of those things. I had no idea. So like many of you, that are probably watching this, I walked through the door going, I have no idea what to do here. Am I going to do something that looks silly, especially in today's age where there's YouTube and TikTok and all these crazy social media places where you know people get on and have these videos about people not using equipment right. See, those types of people are not ones, at least in any club that I've seen here, that even exist. Because generally speaking, you go into any gym, like if you came into Parkway, um, or any of these gyms in town, you know I'd say pretty close to 100%, 99.5 or 100% of the people that are in here are paying attention to themselves and their workout and their intensity, or what their next set's going to be, or whatever's going on. They're not paying attention to, gosh, this new person at the gym. Now I will say, if somebody sees clearly somebody newer, or something that might be dangerous, potentially causing injury, something like that, somebody might come to help you, or something like that, and say, hey, maybe you should do it this way because you might hurt yourself. Not in a mean way, or a degrading way or anything. That's kind of the thought that people have, is if somebody comes up to me, they're going to be mean and they're going to do this. So they get really intimidated at even coming in at all. But that's not the case. The case is, generally speaking, obviously I can't speak for every member at every gym, but the ones that I've been to, they're very, very helpful. Even the ones that are really focused, like you see me in the gym, I've got this really focused look on my face because I know exactly what, machine or, bench or whatever I'm going to, and I'm really focused on getting done in a certain period of time. But even with those types of things, people are really, really nice. And generally, it's one of the most welcoming environments that you will find, because we're all there for the same reason: to get fit, to stay fit, to get to a specific goal. All of us are here for the same purposes. Now, we might have different end goals, but they all start, or at least contain, getting fit through cardio and strength training, maybe taking classes, whatever the case might be. So rather than being intimidated on, I'm going to go to the gym, whether you're overweight, underweight, whatever the case might be, that people are going to just stare at me and I don't know what I'm doing. And so I'm just not going to do anything or go into the gym at all. Come and try it out, because I guarantee you nobody's staring at you. Nobody's really paying a whole lot of attention, like I said, unless an experienced member might see, or a trainer or staff member might see something kind of that might injure you. They might give you some pointers, just to keep you safe. But other than that, I mean, you're here, you're doing your thing, everybody else is doing theirs. So it's a lot different than kind of what I've seen online. Sometimes some people are really concerned about that intimidation of the big, strong, huge guys walking around grunting and all these crazy things. That's not what type of gym most of them are. Um, Go to a place that's comfortable for you. But also, like I said, there's plenty of resources that are out there on terms of how to do things safely. Got to be kind of careful on who you trust. If it looks strange and it looks like it probably isn't safe, probably isn't. Um, so don't just take anybody's word. But there are a lot of places you can look for specific form and how to do exercises, so you can be prepared for that if you'd like to. But just come in and give it a try, because I guarantee you it's a very welcoming environment, and not something to be afraid of.
Yeah, let's talk about people in the gym, and you see these health club advertisements, and that, whether it's a snapshot or whether it's a video, and they always show these beautiful people doing, um, group fitness classes or whatever, and they always have phenomenal bodies, or just, that's not how it is in a gym. That's not, only a handful of people in the gym look like that. And we were talking about this before we turned it on. First of all, don't expect to walk into the gym and see a bunch of gorgeous models, because they're not in the gym. They're not anywhere. They're only in pictures because they're not real, most of them. So when you go into the gym, and look, I'm not trying to be mean, but in the gym, like in society, most people are fat. When you go into the gym, we were talking about this, at least half, and I'll give you an estimate of what I think, as I pay attention, at least half the people in the gym are going to be fat. And I would say 75% of them are fat. I'd say 3 out of 4 of the people in the gym are fat and need to get in better shape. But that's why they're in the gym. And that's why you should be in the gym also, most likely. So some people are really fit, but I'm guessing about 75% of them are fat, and some of them are obese in the gym. Now, also, people think, oh, I don't want to go to the gym. People are going to be looking at me because I'm fat. Yeah, if you're obese, if you're really fat, people are looking at you, but it's not what you think. And I've said this many times. They're not looking at you in a negative, judgmental way. They're looking at you in a positive, judgmental way. I guarantee you, because every time I see this, I want to go up to that person and just say, hey, way to go, man. I'm glad you're in here. That's what people are thinking. They're impressed. They're admiring you. They're admiring your courage. They're admiring your decision to do something that's good for your health. They're admiring and appreciating you for being there. When they're looking at you, you might think, oh, that person's going to say something mean, or they're thinking something mean, or that's not how people in the gym are. I mean, there's some jerks everywhere, but not people in the gym. They're going to encourage you. They're going to think encouraging thoughts for you, whether they say them to you or not. They're admiring and appreciating what you're doing. So don't be intimidated. People aren't going to laugh at you. They're not going, oh, look at that fat ass. No, people don't do that in the gym. They encourage you. And you know what? Most of the people in the gym, like I said, are fat anyway, and that's why they're in the gym. So that's the first thing. And the second thing is, don't be afraid to ask. Ask a personal trainer at whatever gym you are at, in whatever state you're in, because I can't remember, honestly, ever going into a gym where I thought, this is a horrible place. All these people in here are jerks. That's not how it is in gyms. People aren't jerks. They're in there doing something positive. And it's just, you can feel the environment in almost every gym. Now, they're all different. But the first thing you want to look at, if you're looking to join a gym, which I recommend everyone does, and a very small proportion, I'd say now, the old stats were 13.7% of the population would join a gym, and probably definitely over half of them didn't use their gym membership. Now I'd say it's probably up to 18%, 19%. I'm guessing. I haven't seen accurate or exact statistics on this recently. Is where we used to get those statistics, maybe 20%. But I also think more people that have gym memberships are using them. But here's the most important thing, I think, when you're looking to become a member at a health club or a athletic club or a gym. It's got to be convenient. It's got to be convenient. If it is not convenient, close to your work, close to your home, don't do it, because you're going to find reasons why I'm just going to skip today. Oh, it takes me 20 minutes to get to the gym. That's too long. If it takes you, especially with the impatience of the people in our culture, if it takes you 20 minutes to get the gym from wherever you are, that's probably too far. That's 20 minutes there, 20 minutes back. That's 40 minutes out of your day. And it's going to be really easy to say, you know what, I'm going to skip it today. So first and most important, make sure it's convenient wherever you are. The second thing is, make sure they have the equipment that you want to use, the equipment that, and they have the things in the gym that will provide a way for you to exercise the way that you want to exercise. Functional is the biggest thing right now, which I recommend everyone do some type of functional training. If you're not into that, which I think everyone should be, then if you're not into that, you don't need a gym with functional areas, but I recommend that. But for you, everyone's different. You got to make sure that it has the equipment that you want to use and that you will use, and that you can conveniently get there. Because if not, you're going to find those reasons not to go and not to exercise. And, price, I'm going to say this. If you think about price, your health club membership, almost every bill you have in life is more expensive than your health club membership. Your cell phone's more expensive. Your gas bill's more expensive. Your electric bill's more expensive, unless you have solar panels, but you're paying for the solar panels. Your water bill is more expensive. My water bill, my electric bill, my gas bill, my cell phone bill, all my bills are more expensive than our most expensive membership, which is an all club membership where you can go to 6 locations in one area, Northern Nevada. I can't think of a bill that's less expensive than our most expensive membership. Price is not that big of a deal anymore. Either you want to exercise and you're going to do it, or you don't want to exercise. And I tell people 80%, 80% of the population, 75%, if I said, I'll pay you to go to the gym, I'll give you $50 a month, but you got to go at least 2 times a week, every week, and I'll pay you $50 a month. Most people wouldn't do it. They wouldn't do it. Your last thoughts, David?
Yeah, no, I agree with you, Steve. Number one, on that last part, where people wouldn't necessarily do it, even if we paid them something, because you have to want to do it. It can't be something, you know, forced. It has to be something that you want and you're going to commit to. But I will also say, in terms of the gym, part of what you see is, the gym intimidation, but also if you, like you were talking about, the convenience of everything. If the club isn't convenient, we're going to make up reasons in our head. And I'm not just talking, those of you watching, heck, I might try to make excuses for myself. And I've been lifting for 13 years, and being a physique competitor, I'm in the gym 7 days a week. Of course, I work here for 5 of those, but, I'm here, I'm working out, I'm doing my cardio, but everyone's brain, to an extent, depending on where you're at in your fitness and health, you're going to make up some form of excuse. Now, when you get to a certain point, you kind of stop making excuses. You just know it's programmed. You're going to go to the gym. You're going to do this cardio. You're going to do whatever it is. But when you're starting, especially, if it's not convenient, the brain's going to talk you out of it. If maybe you've never been to a gym before and you just believe all the intimidation things that are online and you don't actually go check it out, brain's going to say, yeah, don't join. Maybe there's a gym where the membership is $70 a month or something like that, or there's some places with $10 a month, depending on where you're at in the different clubs. Oh, well, I don't want to pay that because I don't want an extra bill. To your point, it's cheaper than pretty much any of your bills. I can tell you it's cheaper than the gas for my car for a month, and I'm doing no exercising by driving. So there's a lot of different things that in our minds, we're going to put up that blockade because I hate to use the term afraid, but we're afraid of something new or something. Maybe we went to a gym a long time ago and we're restarting, whatever the case might be. You've got to make the effort. Go in, see what the gym's like today. If you went to the gym 20 years ago and that was the last time you were there, gyms are a whole different place now. There's a lot of different things, a lot of new stuff. So go try it out. Go to a club, that's near you, convenient to work, whatever the case might be. I go to this club because, of course, I work here. But the other club that I go to sometimes for fasted cardio, that's even closer to my house. So before I come here, I go there, do my fasted cardio. I work out here. Sometimes on the weekend, I'll go to a different club because that's close to where I'm going to be doing my grocery shopping afterwards. So it's always kind of strategic. So it's close, it's convenient. And even somebody who's been working out for a long time, it still has to be convenient because otherwise, am I going to be as willing to go do it? Probably not. So just kind of follow those guidelines, make sure it's convenient. Go check out the club. Don't have preconceived notions. Go and check it out for yourself. again, make sure they have the equipment you want to use. You don't want to be too limited, but depending on what your needs are, smaller gyms might be okay for you, or even bigger gyms like ours, which have a really wide variety of stuff. So check it out. Don't believe everything that you hear online as far as intimidation at the gym, because again, everybody's here for the same trajectory. We want to get healthy. We want to get stronger. We want to have a better quality of life. That's why everybody's here. So we're all on that same journey together. What the end goal is might be different, but we're all here together for the same reason. So check it out and just really see what you think, because it really can and will change your life, as long as you make sure it's something that's sustainable for you and convenient, because then you'll continue for the long term.
So, David, if people want to follow you on social media or reach out to you, how do they do that?
So, Steve, they can follow me on Instagram at davidwright_fitness. So, fitness journey, contest prep, different things like that are on there. And then at Wright Fitness Training for the personal training side of things.
All right, David, thanks for your input.
Thanks, Steve.